The truth about the secret COVID-19 funds is officially out. ActionSA MP Dereleen James has just been directly linked to the scandal, and Advocate Ramsamy just looked the Madlanga Commission dead in the eye and declared, "She's part of them. I have the voice recordings." We are back with a breaking, exclusive update. And what Advocate Drushantha Ramsamy just placed on the record is sending absolute shockwaves through the entire political establishment. Ramsamy took the stand and exposed what appears to be a highly coordinated, secret political cabal operating behind the scenes. According to her explosive testimony, IDAC investigator Dylan Perumal revealed that ActionSA Member of Parliament Dereleen James allegedly demanded an investigation into 2 properties directly linked to COVID-19 funds. But Ramsamy didn't just make an allegation, she brought the receipts. She revealed to the Commission that she has the physical audio evidence to prove how deep this rot goes, stating she has the voice recordings that connect the dots. Let that sink in. A top political figure is allegedly tied to secret COVID-19 fund investigations, and the prosecutors have the audio to prove it. The mainstream media is terrified to touch this, but we are exposing the whole cabal. If you want every single politician and prosecutor involved in this COVID scandal held fully accountable, flood the comments right now with "Expose the cabal," slam that like button, and please subscribe and share this link everywhere before they try to silence this testimony. Let's look at this jaw-dropping courtroom revelation. Jabulani, roll the tape.
Not only is Advocate Johnson deceiving the Commission, she's throwing a junior under the bus. What kind of leadership is that? Is that really leadership? And now I'm speaking from emotion.
Thank you, Mr. Ramsamy.
I'm not an expert in the field, but I doubt that a 3-day difference would be of assistance.
Well, Chair, you assume that it's a 3-day difference.
No, actually, Chair, we have done one where we could determine that it was a...
I hear you.
Thank you, Chair. That is the evidence of Ms. Ramsamy for now.
The Lushaba housebreaking matter would be second. Advocate Johnson justified IDAC's mandate by stating that there was not a housebreaking matter, but a defeating the ends of justice case and perjury. She said the matter must proceed by contacting the commander. I am still uncertain as to which commander she was referring to, but Mr. Perumal seemed to understand. She instructed that a Section 28 summons be issued to the tracker, or to tracker, to trace the movements of Mr. Lushaba's vehicle, and that Major General Feroz Khan should be contacted for the details of Hudson, who had later been added to the 28-1. Advocate Johnson also stated that witness is a possible witness.
Yes, proceed.
A hotel accommodation matter and other expenses would be next. She mentioned properties and purchases being made for the political task force/team. She said we should also look into the political killings task team's protection regarding Mr. Ian Cameron, being the chair of the Police Portfolio Committee and a member of Parliament, a politician linked to the DA.
Okay. Then you've got 2 properties, 28 million, 48 million, and then you have a sort of a bracket, and you've got ActionSA lady coming for this.
For this.
Okay, so the ActionSA lady is going to speak to this.
From what I was told by Mr. Perumal, and as per the presentation.
On page 227. So you'll have to open file 10, page 227. My apologies. Which is post-authorization activities. You have it?
Correct.
That's post-authorization activities. This is the presentation, Mr. Perumal's portion of the presentation on the 22nd of January, and the first bullet point. You can read it into the record and explain to us what was discussed in the meeting about this aspect.
On the 15th of January 2025, the MP contacted Chief Perumal and advised that another MP, Ms. James from ActionSA, was intending to meet with the IPID on Monday, 20th January 2025.
The first MP here is Mr. Adams.
Correct.
Still.
Continue.
He advised that her intention was to open a case and to request IPID to conduct investigations regarding the two properties that were purchased using CI COVID funds. Mr. Perumal, after being provided with her contact details, contacted her and advised her that IDAC has already undertaken to investigate same.
And then the next page, 228.
The MP then undertook to come to IDAC offices on
Now, when you say MP here, you're referring now to
Ms.
Ms.
James.
Well, not you, but Mr. Perumal.
Mr. Perumal, correct. The MP then undertook to come to IDAC offices on Monday, 20th January 2025, with her draft affidavit and evidence, and to conclude same with IDAC investigators. Her affidavit and documentary evidence will be filed in the case docket, which focuses on the abuse of COVID funds. Further investigations and interviews will be conducted. Must I read the last one as well?
Yes, you may.
The designated team has been activated, briefed, and deployed from 20 January 2025 to the 31st of January 2025 to finalize all outstanding evidential material or matters.
Why did you laugh when you read that?
I was just remembering how the briefing and the instruction, or what was the word? It was briefed and deployed. It was rather instructed and screamed at.
Okay. So that is where, so when you say in your note on page 3 of file 10, the ActionSA lady coming for this, it's referring to that that is set out in the presentation.
Correct.
Okay. And was there any further information? Did you know what evidence, documentary evidence she had and where she had obtained that evidence?
I was informed in the meeting that Ms. James also received an envelope under the door with top secret documentation and confidential documents and information about these things.
An information note?
And an information note, yeah.
And the documentary evidence that she had received that was also slipped under her door related to this aspect only, or was there something else that it related to as well?
If I may just clarify, Ms. James never came to IDAC. She did not, I was asked to wait until at least, I think it was 5:30 or 6 o'clock. And then I went home, showered, and then I had to come back for the forklift witness. So she didn't answer Mr. Perumal's calls, and she did not come through. But later on, if I'm not mistaken, it was somewhere in February or early March.
Yes, that's also some of the documentation that must still be disclosed. Yes.
Mr. Perumal sends me a WhatsApp. It's a very concerning WhatsApp because it is marked top secret on the top, and it is the security risk and assessment of Mr. Ian Cameron. The message below that, and it's both pages that was sent to me via WhatsApp. And the second paragraph, or the typed paragraph on that is, it makes sense why the ActionSA lady didn't come. I'm paraphrasing because I don't have it in front of me.
Yes, we will deal with this aspect in full, Chair, once the documentation is available, and I can foresee that there's potentially a further statement that will be required, but for now we can just deal with it on this level because there are some serious aspects flowing from that as well that we need to explore. But for now, we're just dealing with what the briefing was, and that there was potentially a further witness that was going to provide that information. Was Ms. James was the intention that she was going to be a witness, or that she was also going to do a Section 27 affidavit, or would it form part of this?
From the presentation, it's clear that Mr. Perumal had indicated or had intended on filing her affidavit and her documents in the existing Fadil Adams dockets, and she would then become a witness.
Okay.
Did she ever file an affidavit, Ms. James?
Not with IDAC.
Do you know if she filed with IPID?
I was informed later that she did in fact choose to go to IPID versus IDAC.
That was part of the WhatsApp that Mr. Perumal sent you to say this is why she didn't come to us or something like that?
Correct.
Yes. And did Mr. Perumal say where he got that information from, the top secret information from?
No, he did not indicate. And at that point of our relationship or working relationship, there was a lot of, I was being excluded from a lot of information.
Okay. Can we then go back to your notes and we can deal with paragraph 17 of your statement on page 9? And in your notes, I think we are now still on page 3 of file 11.
Correct.
Continue, paragraph 17.
No stone was left.
Continue, paragraph 19.
Advocate Johnson said that the National Commissioner, General Masiamula, should not be informed of the investigation. She said the National Commissioner would appear at the Portfolio Committee on Policing soon, and we should let him lie at the Portfolio Committee. I assume this was because IDAC was engaged in discussions with the members of the Portfolio Committee on Policing who would know about certain aspects of the investigation. General Masiamula, unaware of the investigations, would then presumably be caught in a lie.
Okay, can I just ask you, so when the committee members, the members of the Portfolio Committee on Policing that we know so far would be Mr. Adams, Ms. James, and Mr. Cameron.
Correct.
And if you go to page 2820, it was deposed and commissioned on the 9th of April 2025 in Cape Town by Mr. Brian Padiachi.
Confirm.
Okay. And just to give context, Mr. Cameron says at page 2820 that at paragraph 4, I, together with members of my committee, are primarily responsible for oversight to ensure effective law enforcement within SAPS. And then at 5, he says, as chairperson, I convened a portfolio committee meeting on Wednesday, 2025-04-2, online with members of the committee, senior managers from the Office of the Minister of Police and senior management of the SAPS, led by General Fani Masimola. And he sets out certain events in there, but then I want you to go to 2821, paragraph 8. He says some committee members were not satisfied with the SAP's management responses. However, in the absence of factual evidence, I intervened and closed the agenda point and moved to the next item on the agenda. Then at paragraph 10, which should actually be paragraph 9, importantly, he says, I suspect that the senior management of the SAPs, led by General Masimola, misled the Portfolio Committee in answer to several questions posed to them. To confirm exactly where the committee was misled, it will be prudent for the committee's recording of the meeting to be compared with the evidence available in the relevant crime intelligence files. So from what he seems to be saying in here is that General Masimola and whoever was in that committee meeting from SAPS had effectively misled, lied to the committee. And we know now from your notes on page 5 at file 11 that Advocate Johnson said you mustn't tell the National Commissioner about the investigation. Let him lie to the committee. He'll be caught in a lie. And Mr. Cameron was one of the committee members who was engaging with IDAC at the time and knew that there was an investigation at the time, correct?
From this affidavit and from the notes, correct.
Thank you.
Ms. Nube, you should read paragraph 7 because
It must be noted that this is General Sibiya, and we were told to speak to, in the third block, there's a name of a person, or the third name is an investigator in IDAC. The reason I asked that it be redacted is because he has one specific matter. And if I say that name, the other name, the second name that follows would be. So we were to discuss with that investigating officer the second name and the link to General Sibiya.
without mentioning the name, the second name, is it someone in the SEPS? Is it someone outside?
It's a member of, or former member of high-ranking crime intelligence.
So you were supposed to establish a link
Between that person
member
and
and General Sibiya.
Correct.
Okay.
But did Advocate Johnson say where this, why you had to do this? This doesn't seem to come from any of Mr. Adams' complaints which gave rise to Project Diversion.
No, Advocate. Like I said, and I think I'm saying it now for the third or fourth time, this is one of the main reasons for my unease. I didn't know where this information that Advocate Johnson was relaying to us is coming from. And I didn't understand how it was linked to the 27 referral. And my greater concern was who was giving Advocate Johnson this information to direct the investigation in this manner.
Well, did you have a suspicion as to who it was?
I did. Because of the meeting that evening, I suspected that this was, and because Advocate Johnson said that Minister Mkunu wanted to clean up SAPS and crime intelligence, I assumed that there were conversations happening with regards to the greater scheme of things.
So you suspected Advocate Johnson was getting this information from Minister Mkunu?
That, as well as the fact that her husband worked in crime intelligence. I started on last week, Thursday, by saying that the evidence I'm going to provide to the Commission will demonstrate that there was an orchestrated attack and plan to arrest people. So, and I said it earlier, and I said it again now, common sense doesn't prevail. Regulations don't prevail when manipulation is happening.
It's page 21, paragraph 50.
Thank you.
I'm indebted to Ms. Poe for that.
Thank you, Advocate.
I think you can go from before I deal with the event, so almost towards the end of paragraph 50 on page 21.
It's fourth line from the bottom.
Thank you. Before I deal with the events that transpired from the 6th of December 2024, I want to make it clear that Advocate Johnson and Mr. Perumal launched an orchestrated attack on General Masiamola and Lieutenant General Khumalo using IDAC's powerful investigation tools. So common sense did not prevail when the plan and the evidence was being manipulated.
So they could have, but they chose not to because their plan was to...
Correct. I did not prepare this application, and the authorization could not have been signed and approved by Advocate Johnson on the 30th of May, 2025. As these documents suggest, I say so for the following reasons. During the meeting—
Sorry, before you say that, so what you're saying is that the document that Advocate Johnson produced that she indicated was the authorization for the 28-1 investigation into the Mokwele matter, and that was preceded by an application drafted by you, sent to her, in order for her to authorize the investigation on 30 May 2025, you say you did not prepare that document?
Correct.
Okay. And you say that not only did you not prepare it, but that authorization couldn't have been, that investigation couldn't have been authorized by Advocate Johnson on the 30th of May 2025?
Correct.
Okay, and then you tell us why you say so at 32.
During the meeting on the 27th of May 2025,
take your time.
Advocate Johnson instructed me to prepare one umbrella, Section 28(1), for all crime intelligence matters. May I please have a moment?
Let's adjourn.
"28 interviews are to be conducted with a prosecutor present. I was the only prosecutor on the matter except for Advocate Johnson. Neither of us knew that the NASCOM was subpoenaed to come to be interviewed. So who was going to do the interview and for what purpose? Because at that point, I didn't even know what information they wanted to question NASCOM on.
And what was Mr. Perumal's reaction to Advocate Johnson saying that it must be placed on hold until she is convinced?
He was very angry. He was extremely angry. In fact, after the meeting, he stormed out of the meeting. When Advocate Johnson, so he threw his pen down twice during that meeting. Once when I said that the statements, 90% of the statements are futile because they're so poor. And then the second time was when Advocate Johnson said the 28 interview was not taking place. And after the meeting, he was spitting fire, and he was saying that ID doesn't know what happens with these things. The ID doesn't understand how these things work. I'm going to explain it to her. Once I explain it to her, she let it happen.
Okay, if we go to 22, there's that a reference in your notes to that as well, where it says call NASCOM withdrawn interview. Is that in relation to the same issue?
Correct.
Okay. And was the National Commissioner advised that he shouldn't appear?
Correct, and a letter of withdrawal was sent, as well as the instruction of Advocate Johnson was to go and physically obtain the subpoena served. It was to be brought to her. She was to scratch over it as cancelled or withdrawn, and it must be taken back to NASCOM.
Now, who would have signed that subpoena?
I haven't seen the subpoena, but the only person that would have been able to sign such a subpoena is Advocate Johnson.
But she didn't know about it, as far as you were aware, because she said it must be withdrawn in that meeting. So did you believe her that she didn't know anything about it?
Is it a case of she did not know or she was not convinced that it's necessary?
I can't answer that specific question.
And if you go to page 2820, it was deposed and commissioned on the 9th of April 2025 in Cape Town by Mr. Brian Padiachi.
Confirm.
Okay. And just to give context, Mr. Cameron says at page 2820 that At paragraph 4, I, together with members of my committee, are primarily responsible for oversight to ensure effective law enforcement within SAPS. And then at 5, he says, as chairperson, I convened a portfolio committee meeting on Wednesday, 2025-0402, online with members of the committee, senior managers from the Office of the Minister of Police and senior management of the SAPS, led by General Fani Masimola. And he sets out certain events in there, but then I want you to go to 2821, paragraph 8, he says some committee members were not satisfied with the SAP's management responses. However, in the absence of factual evidence, I intervened and closed the agenda point and moved to the next item on the agenda. Then at paragraph 10, which should actually be paragraph 9, importantly, he says, I suspect that the senior management of the SAPs, led by General Masimola, misled the portfolio committee in answer to several questions posed to them. To confirm exactly where the committee was misled, it will be prudent for the committee's recording of the meeting to be compared with the evidence available in the relevant crime intelligence files. So from what he seems to be saying in here is that General Masimola and whoever was in that committee meeting from SAPS had effectively misled, lied to the committee. And we know now from your notes on page 5 at file 11 that Advocate Johnson said you mustn't tell the National Commissioner about the investigation. Let him lie to the committee. He'll be caught in a lie. And Mr. Cameron was one of the committee members who was engaging with IDAC at the time and knew that there was an investigation at the time, correct?
From this affidavit and from the notes, correct.
Thank you.
Ms. Nube, you should read paragraph 7 because it...
Documents, page 15, the Mokwele matter, section 2813 authorization. I think that should be section 281 authorization.
I will deviate slightly from my timeline in dealing with the events of May 2025. It is better that I deal with the events thematically instead of chronologically. When Advocate Johnson testified before the Commission, she produced a Section 28(1) authorization signed on the date, signed and dated 30 May 2025. In the Mokwele matter, as well as a 28(1) application purportedly from me to her, dated 30 May 2025.
Just want to go to that. So if you go to file 8, page 3288.
I'm there.
Okay, this is the document that you are referring to in your statement at paragraph 31, which was the document that Advocate Johnson testified to as being the application that was prepared by you, dated 30 May 2025. Is that the one?
Correct.
And if we go to the last page of that document, you will see on page 3298, there's a date 30 May 2025, and just above that on page 3297, Advocate Johnson's signature.
Correct.
Now you want to, we just go back to the first page of the application itself, which is addressed to by you. You want to speak about that document, that 3288. You can continue in your statement.
Thank you.
Just before you do that, it says that it's from Advocate D. Ramsamy, title State Advocate 30 May 2025 to Advocate Johnson.
Correct?
Yes.
Advocate Johnson testified before this commission. She produced a Section 28(1) authorization signed and dated 30 May 2025 in the Mukwele matter, as well as a Section 28(1) application purported from me to her dated 30 May 2025. I did not prepare this application, and the authorization could not have been signed and approved by Advocate Johnson on the 30th of May 2025. As these documents suggest, I say so for the following reasons. During the meeting—
Sorry, before you say that, so what you're saying is that the document that Advocate Johnson produced that she indicated was the authorization for the 28(1) investigation into the Mukwele matter, and that was preceded by an application drafted by you, sent to her, in order for her to authorize the investigation on 30 May 2025, you say you did not prepare that document.
Correct.
Okay. And you say that not only did you not prepare it, but that authorization couldn't have been, that investigation couldn't have been authorized by Advocate Johnson on the 30th of May 2025.
Correct.
Okay, and then you tell us why you say so at 32.
During the meeting on the 27th of May 2025,
take your time.
Advocate Johnson instructed me to prepare one umbrella, Section 28(1) for all crime intelligence matters. May I please have a moment?
Let's adjourn.